wanted to show you guys a cool little workaround that we've figured out here using the Power Play P16-D, I believe is the model of it. But it's basically supposed to be distribution for the P16s that Behringer makes. So we are going into the input here for ultranet in, coming out of an M32R's ultranet on the back. And that gives us the ability to go to multiple of the StageConnect series. So we're coming out with these two Ethernet cables into the back of these guys. And on the back, you need to make sure that your settings are set to ultranet instead of StageConnect. So you're probably wondering why we would do this, but this is pretty cool. So you can end up having, essentially, I guess, with just using one of these P16Ds, you could have 8 of the ultranet outputs connected together with the same outputs. So if you wanted to, you could end up having one channel basically is duplicated quite a bit of times. So this is giving us 32 duplicated channels if we wanted to. And you just do that by going into the screen, which we're about to show you. So a lot of different options from this. We'll go over a few. So we had a few people were messaging us, kind of telling us they were worried about how far you could run this. So we're coming out ASA through 250 feet of Ethercon into this little SD8, and then coming out of our ultranet to this P16D, just to show you you can run quite a ways, and I think you can run up to about 100 feet with ultranet. So probably could go up to almost 300 feet out of the AES into a snake, and then another 100 foot into here. So just to show you that it works, we'll fire something, and then we will turn up some audio. And we still have this speaker coming out of one of the StageConnect boxes. So this is a way to be able to get extra footage through it. And then we'll hook this up and show you if it will actually run through this 250 foot cable. We are not saying that you should do this, but we are coming out of our ultranet port. We'll get down there where you can see ultranet. Going through a 250 foot cable and going into this P16D. And we have connectivity, which is pretty great. So next thing we'll try, we're going to just go without the P16D directly into a StageConnect. And now we are ran straight out of ultranet through our 250 foot cable, and we're going, let's see that from here, directly into our ultranet input on one of the StageConnect boxes. So we'll see if it will pass signal. And it is still passing signal through that top StageConnect. So I know that they recommend you don't need to go over, I believe it's 90 meters, but we have definitely just, it didn't go over 90 meters, but we went pretty far. So I will check that and see if it is 90 meters, and we'll see if we have enough cable to max it out. So after looking around online, there are a few people that are saying you can only go 30 meters with ultranet. So we're definitely going far past 30. I was thinking if it was 90, I was like, we're actually just a little bit under with this 250 foot cable. So there you go. There you have it. It does work with at least 250 foot cable. And then if this works with a 250 foot cable, just ultranet, you should theoretically be able to go in spinning if this is actually redistributing it or not. Should be able to go with a 250 foot cable into an SD8 and then go another 250 foot from that to the ultranet. So might try to find a cable and test that out in a future video for you guys. But we'll go on and look at some other applications. So we're hooked up to a little M32R, and we're just going to kind of show you how to make this work. So you'll go into routing, you'll scroll all the way over until you get to the P16 tabs. And when you get to P16, these are your selections of your 16 outputs that we have on these. So since these are coming out of the ultranet, they are synced and they are identical to each other. So we'll go ahead and make 16, should already be it, but we'll make sure it is left. So if it's our left output, 16 should give us output from the console. So we'll turn up the faders, and you can hear that we had music going on. And if we were to take this XLR, try to do it one-handed, and go up to here without knocking all this stuff. Yay. Then we can turn this back up. And you can hear that we have got input, so I won't play much of that to where we won't have any copyright problems. But basically the boxes are mirroring each other. So if we ended up hooking up 6 more of those, we could end up having 6 more of whatever we got. So we're going to go through and I'm going to show you guys basically what our tap settings over here do, because I've had a lot of questions on that. And then we will show you some different uses with this P16-D hooked up to these StageConnect. So we have a bunch of different tap settings over here, so we're going to clear those up. So the first one, the N/LC, which we'll go ahead and activate that, is going to be pre-everything except for the high pass filter or low cut, if you want to call it that, and then the gain. So we'll play some music here. And you can see that our gain actually makes a difference. And then you can hear this low cut. Whenever I activate it, we're getting rid of a lot of frequencies. So kind of making all of these very over dramatic where you can actually hear the difference. So N/LC plus M adds the mute into there. So as you can see right now, we actually have the faders down. They make no difference, but the mute does mute. So then when we go to pre-EQ, this is going to add in our gate. So very dramatic gate, make it super choppy. That way you can hear the gate is actually doing something. And then we'll go back into our routing and do pre-EQ plus mute. So we've got our gate turned back on and our mute actually does something. We'll take that gate back off. So then we have our post EQ. So post EQ is going to allow us to have this over dramatic EQ I've got going on. So this is with it, that's without it. And it had been on the whole time, but it's only effective now to what's going out once I've got it activated. And you can still use your gate. Now back to our routing. I think you're figuring this out by now. Post EQ plus M is going to be mute. Actually makes a difference. So then on our next one, pre-fader, we can finally add our comp in. So we've got a very dramatic comp setting here. You can hear when we turn it on that the makeup gain is making a huge difference on that. So then our next one we will go back to, sorry for being shaky, I'm trying to hold the mic receiver as well. Pre-fader plus M allows you to use your compressor and the mute. And then our last one is going to be post-fader. So on post-fader, we can actually use our faders. So post-fader has everything. You have mute, faders, gate, EQ, compression, high-pass filter. So realistically, if you were trying to send this out to a recording console, I would use the N/LC. Or if you're trying to use it, as we're going to show you in a minute, as basically a, not a stage box, but a press box, sorry. The N/LC is good as well. So we'll show you there's a few different options, just depending on what you have to use it for, but that's just an explanation of our tap point on that side. All right, so after kind of showing you what our tap function can do, we could just show you that if we end up going to channel 1 and we have this be a direct out of, let's see if we get to focus, channel 4, and we put it in LC, this is basically going to be whatever is in channel 4. It's going to be just the gain and the low cut, and it's going to bypass everything else. And this could be really good if we wanted to just have mimicking channels. So we could have realistically up to 8 of these guys with 16 copied channels to just give tons of outputs of one output. So if you had a press meeting and you needed to give tons of people just one microphone, that could be an easy way to do it. You could also do matrices. So if we went back into here and we had this guy hooked up as a matrix, we'll make it be matrix 1. And then you had selected your channel and you had turned up in the bus sends, which we'll just show you how. Sorry, that does not like the screen. So you can end up turning up the bus sends to 1, 2, 3, whatever you want. So we get these somewhere near unity. So now we actually have something going to the matrices. We can hit matrix and we can turn these up. The good thing with this is if we ended up making these all be a matrix, so you can make it be matrix 1, 2, 3, and 4, you could have outputs that had different volume controls, which would be really nice. So something to think about, and you could also EQ those and do a little bit of just signal shading to make things better for the people recording it. So that's one other cool use. We have thought about taking these, and I don't know if we'll do it with the P16-D because there's just a lot of other options we have that would work better. But you could take one of these output boxes, have one stage left, one stage right, and we could assign it to where we had our house left and sub, and then we could have house right and sub, and then house right front fill, house left front fill, and then we could do monitor mixes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and monitor mixes 5, 6, 7, and 8, which really could come out of 1, 2, and 3, and 4 if you wanted to. And we just wouldn't have to run nearly as much XLR. I don't know if it's worth it yet, but it's something for us to look into. But really cool devices, and I'm just super excited that the idea actually worked, that you could use the power play distribution to send that signal to other stage connects. So just something to think about, and I found this helpful. Please hit like and subscribe, and if you need any gear, just give us a call. Even though Sweetwater likes to let you think they're the only dealer for Midas and Behringer Music Group, there are actually still quite a few of us out there that have gotten the ability to distribute again. So just give us a call if you need any gear, and hope you guys have a great day.